What is up, guys? Welcome back. Week 2 predictions, Boss Boys. Week 1 was a good one. Some people outperform, some people underperform. It's a crazy week 1. All I know is, shout out to that boy, D-Unit. That man put an ass whooping on me. Scored the most points last week, so shout out to Dusty. We'll definitely have to get a week 1 prize coming out soon. I know I stated week 1, 4, 8, 12, and 16 were the prize weeks. 16 is pretty close to championship, so by that time it would just be the champion. But man, let's get to it. Week 2 predictions. I mean, I don't quite remember. I think I went all 6-0 last week. I'm pretty sure. So let's see here. Week 2 predictions. All right. So our first game up. It's a little. Let me see here. All right, little brotherly love going on here. We got ourselves the Benson Boys versus the Wild Panthers. Now, CBS has this predicted 95-91 Wild Panthers with a win. Both teams started off 0-1 last week, so both teams are looking to get back on the right track here. Wild Panthers, yours strictly came down to coaching. Just some bad decisions made overall. Riley, you just got beat by a little better performance last week. It's all good, man. He's a 2-time league champion. I think he'll bounce back. Now, this game is going to be really close, just like the predictions. I mean, you can go down and scroll, and it really honestly comes down, for me, to that tight end position. With Keenan Allen going down, I think Phillip Rivers is going to have to look for Antonio Gates a lot more often this week. And Martellus Bennett with Jimmy Garoppolo just didn't get any type of fantasy production. So I'm going to have to go with Riley here, Team Benson Boy on the upset. So I think Benson Boy gets on the right track here, gets that win. Let's see, next game up will be D-Unit versus the Bolts. Now D-Unit's coming off the best performance last week, scoring the most points out of any coach. He's projected to beat Team Bolts 104-97. Now, on here, it's got, 2 great quarterback matchups with Ben Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson. Roethlisberger is playing that Cincinnati team. That's always a great game. So I don't think he'll go off as well as he did last week. Russell Wilson is playing that Rams D that just looked atrocious. So Russell Wilson probably gets a slight edge in that one right there. Now, this game does have important wide receiver matchups. Brandon Cooks, we all know what he did last week with that 98-yard touchdown. He went off. Sammy Watkins, he's a little banged up, so depending on how that works out, that's going to be a key matchup, as well as the third wide receiver slot with Moncrief going up against Tavon Austin. Moncrief's playing that tough Denver D. Tavon Austin, you saw that Rams offense last week. It was just, oof. So I'm going to have to go with Team D-Unit again here this week. They got their defense playing against that Rams offense. That's points. They got Danny Woodhead now. He's going to be that receiving back out of the backfield that Phillip Rivers loves to go to. And the tight end matchup, I just like a little more with Jordan Reed over Travis Kelce. So I'm going Team D-Unit in a close one. We'll go 110-107. Now, the next game up will be Count Compton versus Lucky 12. Now, the importance of this game, CBS has it projected 96-86 Count Compton win. I'm with CBS on this one, and this is my blowout of the week. That's right, blowout of the week. Biggest projected margin of victory, 10 points. Count Compton, 96-86. It is going to be a scoring game for Count Compton. You got Todd Gurley bouncing back. I know he did bad last week, but you can't keep a great back like that down for long. Lucky 12, I'm sorry. Your luck's run out. Andrew Luck's playing that Denver D, and woo boy. That's all I got to say on that one. Now, the important matchup in this one is that wide receivers. Lucky 12, he has those wide receivers. Odell Beckham, A.J. Green, Julian Edelman. Those are some top-tier wide receivers right there. But this game all comes down to tight ends. Gary Barnidge, he did bad last week. I'm not even going to lie. But he's got a new quarterback there in Cleveland with RG3 going down. A quarterback that had some rapport with him last year, so I like to see his numbers go up this week. Safarian Jenkins, he caught a touchdown. I don't think that happens again this week, so his numbers aren't as good. So I'm going with Nick here in a blowout victory. We're going to go 105 to 85. All right, let's see here. Next up, we have Donkey Dominance versus the Wet Bandits. Donkey Dominance got out to a blazing start last week. Drew Brees and Antonio Brown. Dear Lord, someone save us. Those boys put up some fantasy numbers, I tell you that much. Carson Palmer for Wet Bandits, he's a good quarterback. I just didn't like what I saw last week. He came back, found Larry a few times, but when you got a Patriots team that's missing their starting quarterback, they got speculations coming into the season, you got to perform. You got to go out and get your team a W. And the Cardinals, they just didn't do it. And then he's got Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy did that P90X in the offseason, got back in shape, but he just, I don't know. There was something about him. He didn't have that rookie second-year form to him where he's just rumbling, stumbling, mumbling, So, when you got Antonio Brown on your lineup, that's easy. Somewhere, 15, 20 points every week. That's hard to beat, Then you got Steven Gostkowski, Garoppolo's still in at quarterback. They're not going to get touchdowns on the drives like they normally would. They might stall in that red zone. That's fantasy points coming from that kicker. The Ravens D last week looked very good. Very good. And they're playing a Cleveland team like, I said, RG3's injured. That quarterback position, it's getting a little thin up there in Cleveland. So I like Donkey Dominance in this game, and a close one. I'll go 112 to 108. Next game up is our upset of the week. CBS has Team D's beating Orange Crush 101 to 92. I don't see that. CBS got this one wrong. Orange Crush trying to make a few moves this week, get that number a little higher, but when you got the first ranked schedule difficulty in the league, you're going to play tough opponents every week, week in, week out. I had a few underperformers last week. Dez Bryant, quarterback. I got to find me a quarterback. But, Team D's over here, he has a solid team. But if you look at this matchup, it's really, really close in every almost category. Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, both projected to get 20. LaShawn McCoy, LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount's projected to get 11, McCoy 10. I don't know if Blount will get 11. Miami's defense looked really good last week, holding the Seahawks offense down. Kelvin Benjamin 12, Jordy 10. That's a close matchup. That's a really close matchup. The one thing in this game is Jason Witten versus Jimmy Graham. Witten, he had a productive week last week. The rookie Dak Prescott seemed to find him often. Jimmy Graham, he didn't have as much production. So, I just don't see that. Plus, the flex position, you got Latavius Murray going up against that Atlanta run defense that actually held Doug Martin to a low fantasy number last week. So that also hurts Team D's, Michael Russo. So I'm going to have to go with the upset here on this one. It's going to be a really close game, but I have Orange Crush winning 100 to 97. Really close victory margin. It's going to come down to the wire on that one. Last but not least is our game of the week. We got Cam VP, last year's league champ, versus Winter Miller. Both teams are 1-0. Both teams have very good teams. The one thing in this game, really, when you have Aaron Rodgers playing against a tough Minnesota defense, that's hard. I don't know how he's going to do. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to do good, but is he going to go off like we're used to? Then Cam VP, you got Phillip Rivers. He lost his main target. How's he going to do? Will he, be fine with the check down to Gates, the check down to Woodhead? How is that going to work out for him? Then you look here. It's pretty much even down the line. Looking at receivers, looking at running backs. It's down the line. This game, to me, comes down to the tight end position. Coby Fleener, he didn't catch any balls last week. I'm pretty sure he had 0 points. Julius Thomas got in the end zone. He had a good report with quarterback Blake Bortles down there. It looked really good. So that, to me, is the difference maker in this game, the tight end position. If Coby Fleener can come alive in that Saints offense, because there's plenty of balls to go around. We know that. I'm sure Pops can get the win, but I got to go with my gut here. Give the win to Cam VP. Close victim to Marjorie. I'm going to go 101-99. That close, ladies and gentlemen. That close. So, that's it for this week. That's all the predictions. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Best of luck week 2 to y'all, and may your teams win.